Hello friends, Chris Andresen here from the Bike Hub, and we've got a very special little podcast today with some good friends from the Evergreen Bike Alliance. I'd like to introduce you Chris Conley, the president of Evergreen, and everybody knows Dan. Dan Wilson, Lucha Dan's here with us also. Thought it'd be great to have these guys come in and talk a little bit about the club, some of the big projects that are going on, how to get involved in it, but we got a lot to cover tonight, so tune in. This is going to be really, really good. Chris, I want to know a little bit how you got involved and a little bit about the club.
Sure. So Evergreen Mountain Bike Alliance has been around for 30 years. We're the largest statewide organization in the nation. I originally got involved on the west side in Southwest, outside of Vancouver, working on the Trillium Trail over there, and did some work on Cold Creek and other things in the Yackle Burn. And then just came over here to, as you know, my grandson, to be closer to him and spend time with him and watch him grow up, and kind of got into the riding scene here, and then decided to step up and be president. And
well, I appreciate you doing that. That's a big role to step into, and there's a lot going on with that. But I'm going to step back a little bit. A lot of people don't know that your son worked at the shop.
He did.
For a while, yeah. So Michael was out at Silver Mountain as the main tech out there for actually a couple of years, right? Yeah. Came into Spokane. He was doing some school and actually worked with us part-time while he was doing that, and it was great. We kind of want him back, so when he's done with his grown-up job, tell him to come back and play with us. Well, thanks, yeah. And Dan, you've been around. Oh, whoa, Dan's here now.
Hey, Dan.
So you've been around and in the club for a long time. How long?
6 years now, I think is what's coming up.
Yeah, 6 years. And you said you talked about Evergreen starting on the west side of the state. It's been around about 30 years. We're a chapter here called Evergreen East.
Yep, the East chapter. There's 8 chapters statewide. There's almost 8,000 members statewide, and here in Spokane we have about 579 members.
What's the ultimate kind of goal and plan for Evergreen as a whole and for the East chapter? I mean, you guys are kind of like maintaining, bringing new trails to the area, kind of everything.
Sure. Yeah. So building new trails, new trail opportunities and riding opportunities, increasing riders, helping people to improve their riding, to build new trails, and to
You guys kind of work with the city quite a bit too.
We do.
Kind of
with the city and with the city.
I think advocacy is like one of our biggest things.
Right. We do work with the city and with the county a lot on these new trail opportunities, building new trails, getting opportunities to build things like what we did at Micah Peak, some other trails that are locally close to Spokane. Basically involved with any kind of trail opportunities that we can find for either multi-use trails or mountain bike specific trails.
And you guys, there's a lot of projects that you're talking about. Micah, let's kind of, if you guys don't mind, I kind of give a breakdown some of the big projects that you guys, that the club's kind of working on right now locally. Starting with Micah. Micah was a big project that was conservation property.
Yep. Yeah, it was conservation futures property. It's actually in our area the first bike specific downhill mountain bike trail, silicate slide flow trail. And that started last year, and working with the county to develop that trail and then build it and actually finish it this year and have the virtual ribbon cutting, I guess. But that's actually turned out to be quite a great zone for biking, hiking, and all kinds of recreation.
I've been out there. It's amazing. That trail is really, really good. I mean, you start at the parking lot, you're about 1,700 vertical feet to get to the top of that trail, and it's about 4 miles.
Yeah, it's no joke.
It's a no joke, and it just goes and goes, and there's ripping trails. They've got little jumps in it. It really has everything out there, and it's just a huge area. There's a lot of land out there.
There is, yeah, lots of other opportunities to connect the climbing trails together so that you're off the road. So we're working on some other segments there to be able to climb on single track versus the road to the top. And then some of the hiking groups built that Salties Ridge Trail, which connects you to the upper portion, and then we built a small connector trail between the end of that and then the top of Silicate Slide, so you can traverse across.
Yeah, I just rode that recently. That was really good.
Huge opportunities out there for more trails. I'm sure we'll be out there the next 5 years developing that area.
And there was another piece of land that was just purchased to kind of connect Liberty Lake County Park into the MICA trails. Did that happen?
Yeah, the trail.
It's been purchased,
It's
but
been purchased,
the
yeah.
existing trail between Liberty Lake and MICA is mostly double track at this point.
Yeah, I rode it. Actually, did an e-bike adventure to go just kind of explore that, and I was able to cross over. It was a long ways. It was.
Yeah.
We did it on our gravel bikes. I wouldn't recommend it. But on a normal bike, maybe it's just they don't have the gearing ratio for it.
It's a lot of climbing. Yeah. What other big projects that's going on? The MICA is obviously a big one. I've heard and seen a lot of work up at Mount Spokane.
Yeah, so we're working on the Upper 290 trail. That's the connection above the snowmobile lot up to the top of the mountain. This would be the continuation of the goods trail.
Gotcha.
And we hired actually a builder from TerraFlow to work on it this last summer. We were shut down a little bit because of fire danger. We didn't get quite as much done as we wanted to, but we have it cut in from 132 all the way down to the bottom. So it's about a half mile of really flowy, fun single track. And then we started at the top working down at the same time. That's hand built because of kind of a sensitive habitat up there.
Oh, gotcha.
We're not able to use the machine, but we've got about a half mile done at the top too, and it's rocky tech, really fun. Basically, it goes right down off the very top down the ski run.
Wow.
And that'll be a pretty spectacular trail. You'll have 6 miles.
Top to bottom
Yep,
option.
6 miles from the top to the bottom of rock tech at the top to some flow in the middle to the rooty goodness of the goods at the bottom.
That's going to be amazing. Now, having a second top to bottom trail at Mount Spokane, I mean, that's just a magical place to begin with, and having more trail up there is going to be great. So this is something that I've seen. I've been around the area a long time, obviously, and I was involved a bit with the Fat Tire Club before it was kind of voted in with the Evergreen chapter. And I've kind of seen the progression of the club through the years. And one thing I can say that I can really appreciate in the last, I would say 3 years, is you guys' really focus and direction it just exploded. Like, I feel like there's so many people out there maintaining trails. I see the regular guys out there all the time, getting everywhere. And every trail I end up hitting, there's somebody out there from Evergreen working on that trail. And just the media that I see from what's going on, you guys have been really good about just updating the community on what the new projects you guys are working on and stuff. What do you guys think, Dan? This might be a good question for you. What's the hardest thing it is for you guys to keep the process going and keep going? Is it memberships? Is it financial? Like, what's your biggest struggle with a club like this?
Man, probably organization would be honestly getting the word out there. Right now the COVID thing is kind of screwing things up a little bit because we can't have big groups together, and that's what it's all about, is getting people together and getting them involved out on the trails. So that's our biggest struggle right now. And
Gotcha.
it's like we want to do these things, but it's like, pull back a little bit. We can't have big gatherings, can't do these things. So that's a lot of that's in the hopper. We're gonna, we want to go out and be aggressive with getting in big groups together, do big work parties and things like that. So we have to dial it down, kind of be strategic about how we do work parties. Like, we did that pretty big work party on MICA, but we staggered out our work groups. So we had 8 groups of people working in a section, next group of people working in another section. So that worked out pretty well. But it's a lot of management, a lot of admin that goes into the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
That you got. It's that part of it's a little bit frustrating and a little bit tough to get figured out.
Yeah, I could imagine, especially with the kind of volunteer work, and you guys really need that kind of manpower out there, but you can't get the groups together to get the manpower together, which could be really cool to see though. But you guys, we were kind of talking before we started filming here, and you guys are saying that membership growth was big for this 2020.
It is, yeah. Actually, membership, I think we've captured some of these new recreators that are out now on the trails. We've gone from about 420 members up to 587 members over the last year. So a huge membership increase, and that's also been seen statewide. Wow. So it's nice where some of the corporate donors are down. Membership is up significantly, so that's really helping us to continue to do what we're doing, building trails and maintaining trails.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, once we get past this COVID thing, there's going to be a lot more helpful hands probably on the trails.
Yeah, and we can kind of put them.
There are too, like more than ever, like with the programs we have going, like the Trail Boss thing is just like huge, like empowering people, giving them the tools they need to get the job done.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the Trail Boss?
Sure. Yeah. So we have a Trail Boss tool. It's basically a rogue hoe that's a multi-piece tool that goes together, and if you volunteer 40 hours, we'll give you one of these tools. It's a $280 value.
Oh, I've seen that. It's a cool tool. Yeah. So 40 hours of volunteer trail work, and you get one of those.
Yeah, you get one of those. We have to track it on our app, track it forward, and it has to be kind of a sanctioned work party with Evergreen. But yeah, 40 hours, and you get one of those tools.
Oh, that's awesome. Huh, that's really cool. What would you say? How can people help, and how can they get involved with the club? What's the easiest way? Like, how do we find you guys?
Social media really is the best way. So our Facebook page or Instagram. The unfortunate part is because of COVID, we can't do any organized events. So we're doing a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff. If people want to reach out to me, they certainly can. My email is chris@evergreeneast.org. You can email me anytime. My cell phone number, am I scared to give it out? 310-980-5804. Call me or text me. I'm happy to hear from anybody. If you're ticked off about something, or you're just stoked about something, or you just want to talk about how to get involved with Evergreen, reach out to me.
Now, Chris, this is someone who's seriously committed to this position. He just gave his cell phone out to the community to make sure we're going the right direction. So big thanks for you to do that. But yeah, so the Facebook is Evergreen East. Is that what it is?
Evergreen East MTB.
MTB. Okay, that's what we find.
You can start typing it, it'll pop up.
And one of the things too, that if you want to become a member, you go to the Evergreen page, the big page with everybody, and then you scroll down to find the East chapter. Is that?
So actually, you can go to our website. We have evergreeneast.org.
Oh, great.
You can go right to our page, and if you go down to join, then it'll connect you to the statewide site.
Okay.
And then one thing you want to be careful when you do that is that there's a little drop-down menu, and you select the chapter. If you don't select a chapter, it goes statewide, which is great, but I think everybody here wants to keep their money in Spokane. So you got to select East on that drop-down, and then that money stays right here with us.
So remember, if you're gonna sign up, and we encourage you guys to sign up, is make sure to hit the East, because we want to make sure that money comes into our trail systems here. But if it doesn't, no big deal.
I think it's required now. You can't. They changed it. It's required now.
Oh, gotcha.
It's fine.
Cool.
But yes, the East Side, and it's all $35 a year. That's all it is.
If you guys had endless resources when it comes to like just the finances, would it be easy to just hire in trail group, like a professional trail, kind of like what you did with TerraFlow? Would that make it easier to get these things, the trails developed faster, like that you guys already have kind of sanctioned and planned and approved?
Definitely. Yeah, that being able to pay somebody, and we have some budget left to be able to finish the Upper 290 Trail at Mount Spokane. So this spring we're going to bring paid builders back to finish that, and hopefully on the upper portion too. But yeah, it's somebody working 40 hours a week building trail. And Dan has a full-time job. I have a full-time job. Most everybody else has a full-time job. So just having somebody working 5 days a week on a trail really significantly increases the amount of trail that you can build.
Yeah, in a perfect world, if the club had endless resources, you could just have paid trail builders coming in and just taking care of things. And So, and the one thing about not just memberships, but just donations. If you guys want to help out with the trails, get more people out there keeping the trails in good shape, and more trails to come into the area, make donations. Like, help these guys out. They're working really, really hard. And like you said, this is all volunteer work. These guys are have regular jobs on top of doing this. So make sure to jump on there and sign up. I have the most important question of the whole night is, what is your guys' favorite trail you've ever ridden? Favorite all-time trail?
Favorite all-time trail.
And the second part of that will be your favorite trail here in town.
I got to give props to National Forest. I got to say my favorite trail is Abercrombie. Yeah, okay. If you haven't done the out and back to the top of Abercrombie.
No, I haven't done that one yet.
Oh, okay. Well, we have to go for
Okay,
one.
I'm in,
And that is a huge fail.
Yeah. Doing that.
It is. It's unbelievable. It's every type of it's just kind of wet at the bottom, and it gets drier, and then it's high alpine, and then it's rock at the top, and it's 8 miles of single track on the way back down. It's pretty phenomenal.
That's awesome.
It's a 4,500 foot climb, so it takes some work.
Well, I'm in.
But it's,
we're going next year, then.
Yeah,
and that's, was that if you don't shuttle?
Yeah, that's if you don't shuttle. Yeah, you can shuttle, do a partial shuttle. But yeah, it's good. It's cool, and it's a beautiful trail.
Favorite local trail?
Favorite Mount Spokane. It's got to be the Goods.
Is it the Goods?
I think, yeah. When it's greasy and wet and
Yeah.
extra spicy.
Yeah.
Goes back to my crazy downhill roots.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's a great trail.
I don't think I can pin it to one, man.
Okay.
I mean, I love Caribou Ridge, like Trail 79, top to bottom, and at our neighbors' properties out there is phenomenal. It's my favorite. But yeah, Mount Spokane, super good. I have a little route I made. It's already the existing trail. It's just 140 to 130 up and across to the Goods. So I get a little mix of like technical and then flow.
Oh, that's good.
I just love it. And I get a little climbing. I need to have a little climbing. That's like, if I'm going to do one and done, that's it. That's
yeah. Well, awesome. I'd say my favorite local this past year, the trail I rode my tires bald on, was Deep Thoughts to Lower Zipper. Yeah. Deep Thoughts was a great addition to Beacon. It's like a great trail to transition someone who wants to get into the kind of harder lines like Zipper or Brain Damage. It's that kind of that warm up trail to get them there. But that was a great trail. So that's one.
And moved some big rocks to make that one happen.
I can imagine. I can imagine. We were just talking about
my fingers many times in there.
The trail, and it's so rocky that it hasn't changed. Like, it doesn't matter with the weather or how many times it gets ridden. It's the exact same trail. So it's great for that. There's no erosion that happens on that thing. So, well, guys, I really, really appreciate you guys showing up tonight. I definitely bribed you with beers, and I think that helped getting you here. But if you guys need anything from us, always let us know, and keep up the great work. Like, I can't tell you how much as just a rider, how much I appreciate what you guys are doing out there. This is what I love to do. You can ask my family, my wife. That's all I want to do. And even as a business owner, like, it's so important. It's hard for us to sell the product we want to sell if we don't have that environment and the trails out there for people to use them. And so as Spokane, we get better and better trails, we can see our community just exploding. And you guys have been a big part of that. So big thanks from everybody at the shop here for your guys' commitment to doing that. And I know sometimes working on those boards and stuff are really stressful, and everyone has opinion on how trails should be, right? And so you're trying to find that middle ground is really, really difficult. And so you got a big props from us. So thanks for coming. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you got any questions or comments, I encourage everybody, if you have not signed up to be a member, please do it now. Please. And we'll talk to you soon. Adios.